pulled over, and it was on Decatur by the Starbucks there, Trop in Decatur, for those locals who listen. And I was pulled over by a police officer for speeding. It must have been like a mile over the speed limit. So it's one of those weird speed places that sneak up on you, where it's 35, where it's been 45 everywhere else or something. So I get pulled over, police officer, and I'm excited. Oh boy, here I go, here's the fun. And the police officer comes over, and instantly 3 other police cars come up, full cherry top. And the other police officer jumps out and goes, "That's Penn Gillette, what are you doing?" And he comes over and goes, "Sorry, man, he's a rookie. Don't pull him over." Because these other police officers have had a touch of my pure performance art that I do. Now, when a police officer pulls me over, my heart starts beating, but not in trepidation. I trust the police very much. My heart starts beating with pure excitement and joy. I'm talking about more excitement than I had going on Saturday Night Live with the Upside Down bit, which I believe is the best bit we've ever done on TV. It was Saturday Night Live. It was hugely successful, fabulous, and I was jacked to high heaven, but not as jacked as I am when a police officer pulls me over. I mean, I swear I'm hard. I mean, it's just
you like it.
I love it.
Okay.
So this gentleman who pulled me over was probably about 30, I guess, African American. He was the tan shirts are Highway Patrol, right? Not Metro.
No, Metro is the tan.
Metro's the tan. So he was Metro, right? Vegas Metro.
Yeah.
But before so I'm sitting there in the car, and I am just excited. I'm like, in the dressing room like Don Rickles. Yeah. Very, very excited. It's there. And if we have to pay for that, it goes to Paul Anka, just so you know. You just perhaps given money to Paul Anka.
He's a good guy. He doesn't hit.
I don't, what, you've heard the Paul Anka tape, haven't you, of him talking to his band?
No.
I don't want ideas. It's very, very good. Listen to the Paul Anka tape. After the show's over, just go and Google Paul Anka talking to his band, and it's fabulous. He comes over, and as he's walking to the car, when he's walking to the car, I know that to get my rhythm going, I have to make the first move. Because if he says something first, then we're into his script.
Yeah, sure.
And this is
an improv.
This is
you want to set the stage.
This is my show. My show, my car. I've got the window rolled down. I have both hands on the steering wheel where he can see them. So I know that my chances of getting shot are very, 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 very low. As he walks over to the car, I go, "Pardon me, sir, do you keep a diary?" So the first word out of the police officer's mouth is not citizen or what are you doing or any sort of accusation. The first word out of his mouth is what? Now, when you have a police officer saying what, you have the upper hand. Because now in this situation, crazy trumps authority figure. And I mean, when you're talking crazy, I am David Allan Coe, Tiny Tim, Sun Ra, all mixed together. There's just nothing but, out of that window of that car, he can see the crazy. He can see this crazy and friendly crazy. And I say, what? Do you keep a diary? Do you keep a journal? Do you write down all your thoughts like a 16-year-old girl? Do you do that? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? He's a little defensive. Because this is a banner day for you, officer. This is the greatest day you're going to have. You're going to write this down. You know what you just did? And he says his second line. We're looking at the transcript now. His second line, what? Do you know what you just did? What are you talking about? You just pulled over the first fully electric car in Las Vegas. This is the first Leaf, the first Leaf. Now, I'm lying at this point because there's Fisters that are out there.
Yes.
But they take gas. Fisters take gas.
Yes.
I believe there's
all the
a
others
smart
take
car.
gas.
I think it's the first fully electric car. I go, this is a big deal for you. Okay. Now, the whole thing is shifted because now he's in my show and he says, really?
That's when you know it's going the way you want it. You got it.
I have been pulled over for a police officer, and so far he has said, what? really? That's all he said. And I said, yeah, it's a fully electric car. There's no gas in this car. It's 100% electric, and I have the only one in all of Nevada. They gave me this special. And then his third line, how'd you get that? I said, I pulled strings. This is the first fully electric car. Do you know what that means? He goes, well, I know what electric. I said, do you know what that means? He goes, I said, so now the cop is flustered. He's been asked questions he can't answer. Exactly like 4 times tonight, he has said to people, why do you have an open container of grain alcohol in your car? And they've gone, he's doing the same thing. I go, I'll tell you why that's important. You've pulled me over. My car is stopped. Everyone else you pull over, their car is idling. You know what that means? It means there are polar bears. You know, sweet little polar bears on ice floes who are suffering because you've pulled them over. But now, you know what we're using for energy? We're using no energy whatsoever. I'm just stopped here, you're standing there, and we can have this conversation as long as you want or as long as I want without upsetting the polar bears. We are putting out no energy whatsoever. We're just stopped, and I have plenty of time. How about you? I've just asked the police officer how long he wants to stay with me pulled over, which is, once again, the opposite situation. Many people are trying to leave as quickly as they can. I am excited and happy. And then I say the sentence, and some listeners here are going to lose me here. Some of the listeners are going right now, oh, that's cute. Oh, that's fun. I guess Penn's having a good time. This next interchange, some people are going to go, ooh, that's unpleasant. It's not unpleasant. It's still fun. It's just weirder. Okay? I say to him, do you know how long we can stay here without causing any damage? Do you know how long we can stay here? He says, no, I don't know. I said, we could stay here until a drunk driver comes along and just bang, hits you with the car and you're gone. We could stay here till a drunk driver hits you with a car. Because you know where you're standing is wicked dangerous. And you can stand there listening to me until a drunk driver hits you with the car. And he says, well, I hope that doesn't happen. And I said, and that's what I wanted to get to right now. The fact that your hopes and my hopes are different. I said, we're hoping for different things. I'm hoping to drive home and see my friend, and you're hoping to meet some sort of quota. And he says, do you know what you did wrong? I said, yes, I do, sir. Nothing. But what you're going to tell me is what I did illegal. I said, because you know there is a difference. Would you like to go into that? Would you like to go into the fact that something's illegal does not necessarily mean it's morally wrong? He said, no, and I don't want to get hit by a car. I said, but we can have you hit by a car without upsetting the polar bears. and he says, okay, you had your handheld device out while you were stopped. I said, yeah, I was stopped at a light. I checked my email. That's what you pulled me over for? He said, well, yes. I said, good. He said, can I see your paperwork? I said, oh, boy, now it gets fun, because I have no idea where my paperwork is. I said, so maybe why don't you get a helicopter out here? Why don't we cuff me and take me in? I think it's time for me to go to prison. How long am I going to do for this? He said, just show me your license.
It's a new car. You may not have any of that stuff.
So I pull out my license, and I show him my license. He looks at it, puts it back in. I put it back in, and then he says, show me your insurance and registration. I said, I barely know what those words mean. I said, the great thing is, though, tonight, if you make a bust, I go to prison, someone in my office gets fired. Because someone was supposed to put that in. It's in the glove compartment, right? And he says, yes. And he says, I said, can I use my phone to light up the glove compartment so I can see in? And he said, no, you cannot use the handset of your phone when you are in control of the vehicle. I said, well, here's an interesting legal point, because right now I believe you're in control of the vehicle, because if you weren't, I'd be home by now. And he said, don't use your, I said, I'm just going to use my, he said, don't pull the phone out right in front of me and use it. I go, the car's stopped. There's a police officer here. He said, use your overhead light. I said, I don't know where it is, because it's a new car. It's the first one that's in Nevada. Do you realize the excitement of this? So I reach in and I pull up the manuals, and I start going through them. And he said, your insurance and your registration are not going to be in that manual. I said, I know that. I know that fully well. I'm going through the manual to find cool parts to read you about how great my new car is, because we need to fill out your diary a little more. I want you to know, like, where the buttons are in the car. So let's look through together, shall we? He said, I'm not reading the manual with you. He said, I think I see the registration and the insurance in there. I said, well, why don't you get it? You're the professional. I said, come on, get in the car with me. We'll drive a little bit. We'll talk on the phone. As a matter of fact, you can check my email so we get in no trouble with other police. Also, you're safer in here than you are out there, because now I'm worried, even with the polar bears being okay, you're going to get hit by a drunk driver. Doesn't that scare you? And he goes, I'm not getting in your car. Reach over there. I said, okay. So I hand him the registration and the insurance card, and he says, yeah, this is all in order. This is very new. I said, yes, it's a new car. Isn't that great? And it's all electric, so that guilt you feel with pulling people over, at least you don't have to feel the guilt for the polar bears at the same time. And the police officer goes, okay, fine. Put all this back, and we're done. You can go. And I say to him, are you sure? Because I think we could talk a little more. He said, just don't use your handset in the car, and you can go. And I go, he goes, oh, one more thing. He says, is this your current address? I said, that's not my current address. That's the address of my office. I'm not giving my address to you. I don't want you to know my real address. And then I said, wait, I've hurt your feelings, haven't I? I'm sorry. You can have my real address. I'm right down here, down this. Why don't you come over? Come on over. I said, when do you get off work? Come on over. We'll watch a movie. We'll hang out. I like you. He says, no. Fine. Put all this stuff away and just drive away. Fine. We're done. And I go, I like you. And he says, first time he smiled or laughed, he goes, I like you too.